This is a Crow Castle Bone Dragon build guide for lightning and town archer setup tailored around a million waves, give or take. You can use it a little bit earlier, you can use it a little bit later as well. We'll go through some changes on what are your options if you can't reach certain things during this video. And there's also a previous part of the lightning town archer dragon hunting builds linked in the description about Legend Dragon, Sin Dragon, the earlier dragons. So if that's what you're looking for, I would recommend checking that out as well. It's in the description. But here is the layout, we'll go through it, but I think first the best thing to do is to show you an actual Bone Dragon battle with the setup right now and see how it goes. So I just popped the 3x ads. I would recommend always try to get 3x game speed whenever you are hunting dragons or farming. It just makes your life so much better. And you can get your free 3x game speeds by watching ads every day. So there you go, one Bone Dragon is dead. We got a useless drop. Let's do another one so you can see it again. In here, as I start the battle, I cast the altar, and then I keep on cycling through my damage dealer buffs in here. So Town Archer buffs, Dark Necromancer, and well, Dark Bowmaster and Zeus are in here. And of course, you keep on casting Chrono as well for increased game speed. But this is very basic tactic of hunting a dragon. It's really simple and yet effective strategy. So there we go. The battle results currently look like this. So we have Town Archers in here being the number 1. They are the highest level unit on this build, on this account. And then we have the rest in here. So even though we have a lightning build, we have Bowmaster promotion here instead of the Dark Lightning Archer promotion, because it's going to be doing a little bit more damage at this point for us right now. I will discuss that a little bit as well really soon. And by the way, if you are waving with your phone but you don't want to waste any wave time while you are watching my videos in here, you could try using a cloud phone for your Crow Castle. And I have just the perfect one for you, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, LDCloud. LDCloud is a cloud phone service that allows you to run the game directly on your PC or your mobile device without actually using the hardware resources of your device. You can run multiple devices on the same account and access them all anytime you want, anywhere you are. And why this is so handy for Crow Castle players such as me or you is that even if you close your phone or you close your PC, your Crow Castle will still be running 24/7 in the cloud. So that means you don't necessarily need a spare phone in order to play the game. You don't have to worry about your phone overheating and exploding overnight when you are keeping it on charger in order to keep the game running. LDCloud offers flexible spending plans tailored for your needs, and I currently have the KVIP package in here connected to the Netherlands server, and I'm running the Android 10 in here. If you want to try it out, check out my link in the description. You can get your first 6 hours trial for as little as 10 cents. And doing so directly helps me as well to be able to keep running this channel. So thank you for doing that for me as well. But so, what are the units? What is the layout? What are your options to make things a little bit smoother for you? How can you make it stronger and so on? At this point, you should have the basic knowledge on how to hunt dragons, so I'm not going to be explaining from the very beginning, but we'll go through the units. I think we can go through the items first. These are the same items I use in my waving build for my Dark Necromancer and for my Pure Wizard as well, so it's the same thing you want for each game mode, just cooldown items for them. Dark Bowmaster has also the same items conveniently that I use for my waving. If you have a dedicated boss hunting item set for your damage dealers, you can also use that when you're hunting dragon. That can potentially make your dragon huntings faster, but these are decent for dragon hunting purposes as well. For this purpose, I'm using the critical chance orb on my Dark Bowmaster in here to increase the damage output a little bit. Same thing for Dark Skeleton as well. The items are the same as in waving. I want to keep on being able to cast these buffs as often as possible. So these items are the same as what I use in waving for these heroes and for the Zeus as well. The same item set as for waving. Again, if you have a dedicated set, then you can use something else. And also Chrono, quickly, let's go through this because these are the basic things, and we can go through the exciting stuff. So same items in there. Okay, then we have 5 heroes in left, and then whatever the heck is going on in here. First of all, we have Dark Assassin. Dark Assassin in here is just to apply the critical buff to the Bone Dragon. Every normal attack the Dark Assassin does applies this buff, so attack speed line is the only best line you need for Dark Assassin. You can also replace this item with an E-tier item if you have a really nice E-line damage skill level, hero damage skill level, cooldown skill level +1 line, then you can replace this item. Of course, preferably you would want to have maybe damage skill level or cooldown skill level +1 line with an attack speed line. That would be even a little bit better. But yeah, That's what you want. Attack speed from the lines, and then just get a good E-tier lines for Dark Assassin, because you wanna be able to stack those E-tier lines in your Bone Dragon build. In here, I will show, I currently have 7+1 damage skill level +1 lines in the build, so I have a lot of increased damage that helps my Town Archers and also helps my other damage dealers as well. Also helps my Dark Elf to get more healing. Now, early on, you mainly wanna stack cooldown skill level lines as well, because your best, strongest offensive thing you can do is keep on cycling through your cooldowns. So your buffs, so your Dark Necromancer especially, the more often you can cast him, the stronger your build will be, the faster the kill time will be. But if you can't fill everyone with a cooldown skill level +1 line in your build, then you can use damage or hero damage skill level +1 lines if you get E items with that level. So that's why this is a Bone Dragon build, because now you are starting to get a lot of E items. You can actually start on stacking those. So the Dark Elf items are in here. Quickly then we go to the witches, which are, I guess, the most important thing right now about this build. So these are just for the healing purposes. So you just have barely enough to survive. She's level 19,000, which is currently enough for me to survive as long as I keep on casting my buffs. And I'm just using the Orb of Christ in here. You can use whatever orb you need in here, so it's just you have enough to survive. If you don't need any orb, then you can use the Cursed Orb in there as well. But then we have the Witch Trio in here. And if you have a keen eye, you might have noticed that the witches are not even promoted. They are all sitting with their basic promotion. So why? Well, the reason is mainly because, first of all, they wouldn't be doing anything. They don't do any damage. The Witch Poison buff does not work against dragons, so that's useless. So they don't do anything. They don't do damage. They don't do crowd control in here. We can get rid of the monsters. So they just need to sit there and look pretty. The reason they are not promoted is because I don't want their normal attacks to be claiming this critical debuff from the Dark Assets. So it's just a minor thing. If you have them promoted, it ultimately probably won't be making your kill time that much slower. But whatever you can do to boost your kill time. So just having the unpromoted witches in here for that purpose is fine. But then, well, if the witches are not promoted, if they are not doing anything, then why on earth are they in the build? First of all, witches are replaceable. You can use other units in here. I will go through that in a second. But the witches serve two purposes in the dragon hunting build. The first purpose is to just stack on E lines. So in here I have damage skill level +1 line. And on the accessory as well, damage skill level +1 line. The same goes for allies. In here I have one cooldown skill level +1 line. And damage skill level +1 line for the accessory. So, really convenient place to stack these lines, because they don't need to do anything. You just, any item with any kind of lines, as long as it has a desired E line for you, you can stack on these units. So in here I have again a cooldown skill level +1 line. So preferably at this point, maybe having cooldown skill level line on every item would be nice, but you probably won't have that many yet, so damage skill level is a strong one to have as well. So that is the first reason the witches are in here. So that's a lot of E lines you can stack in your build. But then again, you could use basically anyone in there, right? Just anyone, just pick one hero and add some items. Well, technically, yeah. The witches serve two purposes, remember? The second purpose they are in here is because of this witch node in the summon tree. So with this node, for every witch you have, your units, your heroes will get 5% increased damage. So this will boost the damage of your damage dealer, so Dark Bowmaster, Zeus, Dark Elf for more healing, and also Thor as well, and so on. So this will give you more damage against the Bone Dragon. It makes it a little bit faster to kill him. So that's why we have the witches in here, sitting, looking all pretty, doing absolutely nothing else, and just boosting everyone else. The thing is that this requires you to reach the summon tree in the skill tree. So you need to reach the summon tree in order to get this node. If you don't have enough points, if you are below million waves, for example, if you don't have completed your P1 heroes, you don't have 147 skill points, for example, then if you can't reach the summon tree, if you can't get the node, you don't necessarily need to use the witches. You can use any units and stack them with the E lines, and that will work just as well. So especially early on, if you need more survivability, you can use Blue Defender, You can use Druid for increased defense that helps you survive more. You can use Smith in these slots as well for more healing. So those 3 could replace the Witch Trio in here if you need more survivability and you can't reach the Witch Knot. But once you can reach it, then having them in here should make it faster. Also, if you have 13th hero slot, then using Blue Defender or Druid or Smith in there can also help you to get started with Bone Dragon. Or if you need more power, then Stone is probably the best option to have, because Stone can be used to boost your Worm, and your Worm can deal quite a lot of damage against the Bone Dragon when leveled and when you have other things to boost him. But the reason it's not doing that much for me right now is because my skill points are limited. I'm going for the physical and the lightning trees, so my poison tree looks kinda not that great. And also I'm currently taking the shortcut in here, so my poison units are doing 30% less damage effectively, so that's not really great for Worm's damage. But once you can maybe get rid of these shortcuts and you can get more into poison tree, then Worm will be better. So Stone should be the best option at that point. So that can also make your kill time faster. So investing in, you can try it, invest in Stone and use the Death Worm with S tier items. Of course, you will need to have the skill nodes in the tower section, so you can use items on your Worm, but that can also make your kill time a little bit faster. So that is the next step for this lightning build that I would go for with more points. You can also time if you sacrifice the summon tree entirely and you just invest in poison, try to avoid going through the shortcut at that point. The shortcut is convenient, especially early on, because it allows you to reach these sword nodes, which on the other hand are also a great boost for your units, for your entire build, and also for your healing. So it makes your kill time again faster. So this will make it faster. So having the sword node in every tree helps you a lot. And there's currently one missing in here. But however, in this case, I would not want to take this shortcut to go to this sword, even though it would only require a couple of points to do so, because I don't want to nerf the lightning units damage in this build. You can time it for yourself if your Town Archers and Bowmaster are way over leveled compared to Zeus and Thor, but most likely it will make your kill time slower. So instead, you will have to go through here and go for the sword node. So that's a lot of points still needed. But otherwise, the skill tree, we are starting from the physical path. And that is to boost the Dark Elf's healing, so that we can survive the Bone Dragon. That is the first step you have to do. You have to survive. And with, well, as low Dark Elf level as possible. So we have the entire physical tree in here. And then we have also the entire lightning tree, because we have so many points in here right now. So when you are starting out with your Bone Dragon kills, you probably won't be able to get all of these that I have in here right now. If you can't get, especially if you can't get the entire lightning tree, then your lightning units will not be dealing that much damage against the Bone Dragon. But as you can see in here, they are doing in total of 25% of the damage in the battle. So that's pretty convenient right now. But again, this is the reason we are using the Bowmaster promotion instead of the Dark Lightning Archer promotion. I'm going a little bit back and forth in here. Please bear with me for a moment. So because we are starting from the physical path, we are boosting our physical units damage. That's the reason we are using Dark Bowmaster. We're also having the physics base in here. So there's also boost Bowmaster's damage, but this also boosts your Dark Elf's healing again. So that's why we have the physics base and not the lightning base. Again, once you can conveniently survive, you don't have to worry about it, then you can maybe try using Dark Lightning Archer, using the lightning base, and time it for yourself. It can be very individual, but this is what I would recommend for starting. For the building section, if you start using Worm, so if you can get Stone in your build, if you can get the Poison Tree as well, which will again probably help you a lot with your kill time eventually, then you can drop Forge and you can put in the Tower to get some more passive damage for your Worm. So this would be something you want to do if you are able to use Worm, if you are able to fit in Stone in your build, especially if you have the 13 slot, then you should do this right now most likely. But early on, the first kills with the Forge, you get a little bit more HP, so that gives you a little bit more survivability. My Town Archer items, I never showed them. They are the same as what I use in Waving. Again, we are going a little bit back and forth in here. This is a really weird build guide. But these are the same items I use in my Waving as well. And Thor items are the same as well as what I use in my Waving. All the damage dealers are set to target bosses, as you pretty much always do in your dragon/dungeon farming builds. There's one weird thing in the build probably that you can spot right now. Why is there a cannon in here? How much damage does the cannon do? It does 0% damage. Why on earth is the cannon in here? There's one simple reason. The cannon is in here just so that it can hold the cursed orb. Just so I can get this cursed orb effect against the bone dragon to make it a little bit faster to kill the dragon. So this is a really strong red orb that you can have in your dragon builds, and you can place it on anyone who can use it. It doesn't really make any difference. So you can have it in here on any tower basically. You could have it on your worm if your worm is not doing any damage. But I have the poison orb in here just for any minor damage boost right now. So that's why it's not on worm and it's on cannon instead. It could be on your dark elf. It could be on anyone. It doesn't really matter. I just wanted to place it in here for the cannon because cannon is not really used anywhere else. That's why the weird thing in the build, the odd thing that you can see is the cannon in here. As for the casual parts, a question that gets asked a lot, why are they empty? Well, they do absolutely 0 damage against the bone dragon. They are really terrible in terms of damage in every game mode right now. So that's why they are empty. Again, the same reason that we are not promoting witches, just so they don't take this critical damage debuff away from the Dark Assassin. If you want to use some casual parts in there, I'm not stopping you. It will probably not make your kill time realistically that much slower, but on paper, it's not gonna be helping you, so you might as well leave them out and go like this. The treasure sections in here currently right now are like this. The thing that I want to change in here is that eventually Black Pearl should be used instead of the Mechanic Giver, so that you can have a secondary leader, and at that point it will likely be Edward, who will passively boost your Thor a little bit because of the buff for the units on the field. And then you can also stack a couple of cooldown skill level +1 lines or damage skill level +1 lines on your Edward as well. I need to farm a couple of more and then I will start doing that. Again, this is a thing you wanna time for yourself. Is using the Mechanic Giver faster, or is using the Black Pearl with Edward in here faster with E-tier items? So you definitely want, so again, he does 0 damage, he doesn't need to do any damage, he just buffs Thor a little bit, and you can stack a couple of E items in there. So you definitely want to have those E items in case you are using this. But you can again time this for yourself, which is faster, this one or the Mechanic Giver. Early on the Mechanic Giver should be faster, but later on this is what you want to do to improve the build, make it a little bit stronger and faster. Okay, well, that was a lot. So this is the layout, this is how it works. If you have any questions regarding the Bone Dragon build, leave me a comment down below and tell me. I will gladly give you an answer and explain whatever I might have missed out in here. So the things you can do to make your kill time faster is stack more E-lines in your build. Well, of course, level up your units, of course, get better items, get better runes as well, if your items don't have runes as well. And then time those certain things if something is faster for you or not. For example, the Black Pearl versus the Mechanic Giver Treasure. So those are the things you want to keep on doing as you keep on going further and further in the game and doing more and more Bone Dragon. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time, my friends. Stay safe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.